some bad news today. Starting with the bad news, I made a little less money than previous years last year. So I got my taxes all together, and I did got the numbers in, and it's like in a couple years back, I used to have like a running spreadsheet of like income and stuff, and then kind of when COVID happened, that kind of fell off, and only this year have I brought that back. Also, I need to shave. God, I look so trashy. I'm gonna hide behind my microphone. So I ended up making, it's like $6,000 less last year, which like isn't that, it doesn't seem like it's that much money. But then you think about like, okay, well, inflation also was like insane the last couple years, and I think it was, people were saying it's like 5-6% in 2023. So you think like, okay, if I normally make like $60,000 a year doing my job, and now I made like $55,000-ish a year, and then that's what so let's say that's like 10% less, and then on top of that it's 6% inflation. That's a 16% like pay decrease, which is like, so that explains why it felt so broke in 2023. And the good news is, though, I will owe significantly less taxes than I thought, because originally I thought my tax bill was going to be like $7,000, and it's actually only going to be like $3,500 or $4,000. So I can pay that as long as people pay me, because people owe me about $4,000. So as long as that money comes in, which it should, that's one thing off my plate I don't have to worry about, which is good. But it does bring me to a larger problem I am having, in that I feel like I am stuck a little bit professionally. And I was talking to my accountant about this, and he was kind of like, time to start charging more. And I was like, I'm just scared of like losing clients over it. And he's like, well, like we raised prices, and he's like, of our, I forget how many clients he's in, like 200, 230. That sounds right. They lost 2. And they raised their prices by like $100. And I was like, that's true. But also, like, I feel like with an accountant is like something, you have a guy, you know the system, he knows your history, he knows how your stuff works. But at the same time, like, the photographer, videographer, filmmaker, whatever you want to call my job, you have to know the brand and what they're looking for. So there is that element to it, and I probably am undercharging. This case in point, because I started a production company with my friends this last year, and I am undercutting my own company in that when I work freelance, I charge less than when the company goes out and does work. And so it's like, well, at least you should charge that much. But I think there's a gap between what I charge and what what we charge, and that's a big. I feel like if I went up that high. So I'm scared of that, because it's like I'm in this place here, and so here's the real root of the problem, is I'm in this place where I am pretty good at what I do, but I am not the best, and I charge accordingly. I'm middle of the pack. If you think about, like, if you got 3 estimates, I would probably be the middle one or the low one, depending on who you got bids from. So I'm not the best. Like the best people in town are the people that have been doing it for like 20 years. They've got, super high-end equipment, all that stuff. Oh, or they just have more confidence to charge more money than I do. There are people that are worse than me that charge more money. So that right there should tell me, like, you probably should be charging more, kid. But then there is, so there's the top, legitimately the top people. Then there's the charlatans that charge more than me but are worse than me. Then there's me. And then there's this gap here where there's people, like, that are near my skill level or slightly below, but like, who cares? It's functionally the same to the average person, and they do good enough work, and they charge probably a similar rate that I do, based off of me hiring them to work on shoots that I put together. So there's that, and then there's this other tier of like people that have like 1 or 2 years of experience and they're good enough. They're undercutting everybody. Some of them, most of them, don't know they're undercutting people. They're just like, you're gonna pay me $200 a day, like that's amazing. And it's like, I know it's hard for me to be mad at them because I was them at one point when I started my career, and that's just the business, the life of a contractor, I guess, is that like you get into it, you are undercutting everybody because you don't know better. Then you get pretty good and you start charging like livable rates, and you're like, this is pretty great. And then expenses happen and you feel weird charging more because you don't want to lose clients. And now there's new people in the business that are good enough and are charging half of what you're charging. And so you don't want to be like, I don't want to price myself so high that everybody gets sticker shocked and it's like, oh boy, like, should we reconsider this person? And then also at the same time, this is kind of becoming on this, there's this trend of like having these long-term contracts with these businesses who are switching to either these young people who don't know any better, or they're going all in-house for their needs. And the needs, obviously, it's just like, well, it's just not a good fit because like their in-house people are either they're producing way more fucking work for them for realistically way less money. If you think about what I would charge for an hour of my time versus what the company is getting by hiring a full-time employee at $50,000-$60,000 a year plus benefits or whatever. You know, they're getting someone that's there 40 hours a week producing content for them. And so functionally they're paying pennies on the dollar of what they would pay a freelancer. And then, or they're paying, you know, these people that are like, oh, like you have an interest in photography, but you're like one of our, you know, customer support people, like we'll give you $20 an hour to come take photos of this thing. You're like, you're gonna give me $20 an hour, like sweet. And it's like, I don't fault that person, but it's like I've lost like 3 or 4 big contracts like that, you know, that did make up a couple $1,000s a year. So there's that. But this year I've already booked a couple contracts that are worth some good money, and they're like extended, you know, like all year. So it's like I've got my calendar kind of got some stuff on it. And then, you know, got the OG clients that have, you know, been around, contracts I've had for like 10 years, which is awesome. And then, you know, 1 or 2 new ones that might be like really, really big. So things are looking up. Plus I'm trying much harder on YouTube. This month, this channel actually made like $20 this month, which is, that's the most it's made in a while. I think the last time it made that much was like during COVID when I was just producing content like every day because I was bored. So yeah, basically I just need more reassurance. That was the dumbest way I could have shut my water bottle. I just need more reassurance that like I'm not gonna lose clients if I raise my prices, and if I do, I'll find new ones and it'll be fine. And I just need to like internalize that and remember like it will be okay. And if not, I will just make a shitload of YouTube content, and that will hit off, and I don't know. So anyway, that's the good news. That's the bad news. That's where my head's at. And I don't know what the takeaway is, other than I know I need to charge more money because taking functionally a 20% pay cut is not a sustainable way to make a living. So I need to figure something else out. But anyway, I hope you're doing well, and if not, I hope that turns around for you real soon. I hope you got your taxes done, and if not, you do them and you find out the government's giving you money back, which would be great. Although I realize now if I had paid my quarterly estimates, I would be getting money back right now. And that does, you're just like, but this year I'm going to try really hard to pay my estimates, so I don't have to stress like I do every single March about like, got that big tax bill coming. Should have paid your estimates, you fucking idiot. And then I gotta work on my self-talk about not calling myself a fucking idiot because I didn't pay my tax estimates.